underwater inspection of 108-foot Liberator. Starting with the port side running gear, starting at the rudders moving forward. Anodes look to have approximately 70% of life left. Rudders had zero play in them. No signs of major impacts with underwater objects. Rudder shafts went evenly up into the hull. Moving forward to the cotter pin and prop nuts. Prop nuts were nice and tight. Cotter pin was present and looked to be newer, as were the prop nuts. Moving on to the props themselves, looked as if they had been reconditioned within previous years. Did not note any damage to the front leading edges, and all blades seemed to be even. Prop looked to be seated well up onto the shaft. Moving forward to the struts. And where the struts connect into the hull. All fasteners look to be solid and everything as it should be. Strut anode in place with good life remaining. Again, no signs of impact or damage to the struts. The shaft had 3 anodes on it, as you can see in the video. One right there is missing. The other ones also need to be replaced. Recommend a minimum of 3 shaft anodes to this vessel. As you can see here on the coupler, there is corrosion and early signs of electrolysis on the bolts themselves. Recommend installing the next shaft anode closer to the coupler to help protect those bolts and nuts from electrolysis. Moving forward to where the shaft enters the hull. Once again, this part of the vessel looks to be secure. No signs of separation. And everything looks as it should. Moving on to the starboard running gear, once again, starting at the rudder and moving forward. Rudder anode has approximately 70% of life remaining. No signs of major impact to the rudder. Rudder had 0 play in it. Structurally looked sound. Rudder shaft fit evenly up into the hull. Moving forward to the cotter pin and prop nuts. Once again, cotter pin and prop nuts look to be newer. Prop nuts were tight and secure. Starboard prop again looked as if it had been reconditioned in recent years. Did not note any major damage or dings to the prop. Everything looked to be even. And prop was seated well onto the shaft. Moving forward to the struts, again, did not notice any damage from striking underwater debris. The struts look to be secured well to the hull with no separation. Strut anode in place at almost full life. Moving forward up the shaft, again, anodes need to be replaced. Shafts look to be in good condition. Coupler itself, again, looked to be in good condition. But the bolts securing the coupler had signs of early electrolysis and corrosion. Again, recommend when new shaft anodes are installed that one is installed closer to the coupler to try to help protect those bolts. Again, where the shaft goes up into the hull, that component looks to be secured. No signs of separation. Everything looked as it should be. Forward from the running gear on both sides of the hull, there were multiple intakes. Here you can see the transducer. And on each side of the hull, there were two large intakes with screens. This is the port side large intake. And this is the starboard side large graded intake. All components look to be fastened securely and in good condition. Here's the paddle wheel. It did spin freely, however you can see that it was jammed up by sea roaches crawling up inside of there. But again, all components look to be secure and as they should.